starts right now.
New this noon, a Poteet man accused of killing 2 women in Atascosa County and then setting fire to the crime scene last year has accepted a plea deal in the case. Rosendo Jesus Montoya was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after pleading guilty to capital murder of multiple persons. Now, Montoya confessed to killing Mary Hines and her roommate Laura West. Sheriff David Saurd said Montoya and West had dated briefly, but then he became obsessed with her. He was arrested after investigators witnessed him throwing 2 plastic bags into dumpsters at a fast food restaurant where he worked in Pleasanton. An investigator retrieved the trash bags and found they had partial human remains. And we've been talking about Hurricane Beryl for a few days now. And with the storm heading west across the Caribbean, the Texas Division of Emergency Management advises residents in coastal communities and holiday visitors to watch the Gulf and have a plan ready for any potential impacts. I was able to get a look at how local leaders have been gearing up for the hurricane season and continue to coordinate response efforts.
Fortunately, where we are in San Antonio, we don't often see the direct negative weather impacts of hurricanes. What we do have a lot of times here is being an evacuation center for the entire Gulf Coast.
Local leaders have been preparing for hurricane season for months, recognizing the city's history as a crucial evacuation center during emergencies.
Working with Texas Department of Emergency Management, we coordinate efforts to shelter those individuals if they need to leave, say, the Corpus Christi area or Galveston or wherever they need to go. They come here. We've received them in the past from Louisiana all the way to the Mexico border and to the south in Texas.
The city also offers shelter to emergency responders.
Those emergency responders that are coming in to go towards where the damage is, the urban search and rescue teams, the Red Cross teams, whatever that is, we offer shelter and a place to stage.
During a major weather event, the Emergency Operations Center at Brooks is activated.
If the city needs to send out a message, it happened back during COVID. Sometimes it happens when there's inclement weather. That is all controlled here. The
Emergency Operations Center features various rooms where city and county officials and leaders of different organizations can come together, strategize, and coordinate. The center was activated during Hurricane Harvey, Ida, and Laura.
Say that an event happens and a hurricane enters the Gulf and it looks like we're going to receive some evacuees here. This place will fully become operational. Everyone that you can think of that may be impacted by or may be needed in those operations will come here, from the fire department, the police department, the sheriffs, all the hospitals.
With hurricane season underway, what tips do you have for residents?
In our area, just stay aware. Obviously listen to your local weather. Stay aware of what's going on in the Gulf. If there's a hurricane coming in the Gulf and you have a vacation plan to the coast, maybe rethink that. If we get heavy rain from the outer bands of a hurricane here, we're going to get flash flooding. That's just a reality of where we live. And so just do whatever it takes to make sure you're safe. Don't go through the flooded roadways. Have backup batteries.
You can also prepare now by having an emergency kit, reviewing your flood insurance, safeguarding critical documents, and learning evacuation routes. And as you saw in that video, it was very quiet, which is good news because it hasn't been activated just yet. But over there and on KSAT.com, we have resources on all the things. I grabbed some of these flyers there. This one's a flood facts, and it tells you different things. Like this one says, beware of barricades and flooded roadways. Do not drive or walk across flooded roadways. Another interesting one is 12 inches of fast moving water can carry away a small car. 6 inches of moving water can carry away an adult. So all this information and all different tips, you can find that on KSAT.com. Our weather team has been really diving into this forecast. So Sarah, what can we tell our audience right now?
Hey Tiff, the thing that we can really tell our audience is to continue to check back in with us, because we really won't know exactly how Beryl is going to impact the Texas coast until Friday. And the reason I say Friday is because that's when Beryl is going to interact with the Yucatan. And depending on how Beryl interacts with the Yucatan, that will greatly influence what kind of weather we get here in San Antonio. Let me show you Hurricane Beryl right now, currently a Category 4 hurricane working its way through Jamaica. At the moment, it's got sustained winds at 145 miles per hour. You can see that we've got hurricane warnings for Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and now for the eastern coast of the Yucatan Peninsula, including the Cancun area. Beryl is expected to weaken as it moves over the Caribbean, and the reason for that is it's going to encounter a lot of upper level wind shear and even some dust. So it will weaken somewhat, but it's still going to impact the Yucatan Peninsula as a Category 2 hurricane by Thursday night and Friday. So by tomorrow night and Friday, early Friday morning. That's when Beryl is going to be moving over the Yucatan. Now, as Beryl moves over the Yucatan, it is expected to weaken quite a bit. How much? That's the big question. As Beryl heads into the Gulf of Mexico, it'll then become a tropical storm with sustained winds of 65 miles per hour. But because of the warm waters of the Gulf, it will likely strengthen. Now, you'll notice that the path of Hurricane Beryl has curved a little bit further to the north. It'll reach Category 1 hurricane status by Sunday morning, potentially impacting areas from the eastern Mexican coast all the way up to the Texas coast. And so when we look at impacts here, the biggest thing to know is that no matter where Hurricane Beryl makes landfall or moves, it's still going to be a not so great weekend to be at the Texas coast. So regardless of where Beryl makes landfall, if it moves further up to the north toward Victoria or further down to the south toward parts of northern Mexico, the coast is going to be dealing with things like rain, high surf, rip currents, coastal flooding. This includes all of the Texas coast. And I know it's a big holiday weekend, 4th of July tomorrow, a lot of people off, but you should know if you have plans to visit the coast that you are going to be dealing with these things. Now, the severity of these things depends on where Hurricane Beryl makes landfall, but these are things that we're going to keep you posted on. Speaking of the 4th of July holiday, I've got to look at our 4th of July forecast here in San Antonio. And of course, we'll also talk about additional scenarios when it comes to Hurricane Beryl. Tiffany.
Thank you, Sarah. In other news, San Antonio police say a 17-year-old is dead following a shooting this morning. It happened around 4 a.m. near the 1600 block of Santa Ana Street, not far from I-10. Police say neighbors reported hearing gunshots, and when they went outside, they found the 17-year-old on the ground in the middle of an intersection. So far, no suspect information has been released. A convicted sex offender who was escorted into a city park by BCSO deputies is now being accused of violating the sex offender registry. Court records show Xavier Lopez was arrested last month for failing to report his home address. We first told you about Lopez back in May after KSAT Investigates revealed he was led into Thompson Lake Park as deputies searched for a missing mother and her son. Lopez was part of a rehabilitation group that provides sports drinks and water to law enforcement at scenes. SAPD investigators found out in March that Lopez was not living at the address he listed on the sex offender registration. A warrant for his arrest was issued in May. And nearly 7 years after the Sutherland Springs shooting that killed 26 people, yesterday was supposed to be the last day people could visit and pay their respects at the Sanctuary Return Memorial due to plans to demolish the building. But everything is on hold now. The 81st Judicial Court has granted a temporary restraining order. In August 2021, the First Baptist Church members voted 66-33 to tear down the Sanctuary Return Memorial building. Amber Holder and her daughter, Amy Crowder, have filed a lawsuit against the church, saying not all victims, families, and survivors have had their say on the decision.
I'm not here to keep the building or destroy the building. We're simply doing this because we want the survivors to have their opinions.
The two told us some of the people directly impacted by the shooting had reached out to her about the decision to tear down the building. But when we asked how many survivors are upset with the decision, she couldn't give an exact number. A hearing on the restraining order will be on July 15th, and we have called and texted both the former and current pastors of First Baptist Church. The former pastor didn't want to comment. Since he says he no longer is affiliated, we did not hear back from the current pastor. And now to the south side, the city of San Antonio wants to put a 2-mile buffer zone around the Toyota plant. The zone would limit new development in the area to commercial and industrial use only. The proposal is not popular with all the people who live in the area. Some are worried about the potential impact on home property values. The buffer zone decision could happen on July 16th. The city is trying to sell neighbors on the idea. Last night, a community input meeting was held on the Texas A&M University campus.
I'm so very much against it, very much against it. It really restricts what I can do. I can't even build a separate home for one of my children to live on.
They are going to try to tell me what I can and cannot do with my property. And at the meeting today, they just said that Toyota owned their property, so they can do whatever they want with the expansion because they own their property. I own my property too.
You can read more about Toyota's proposed buffer zone right now on KSAT.com. And there's a recall for Hill Country Fair potato salad sold at H-E-B stores. According to H-E-B, this reserves Vine Foods produces the 48-ounce, 3-pound potato salad at a regional facility. Now, this is a voluntary recalling potato salad with a use-by date of July 26 due to the possibility of pieces of hard plastic in the package. No injuries have been reported. H-E-B states all impacted products have been removed from shelves. People who purchase the potato salad can return the item to the store for a full refund or throw it away. Making health choices even during snack time, that's part of a goal of an initiative at a local hospital. How it works, coming up. Welcome back. This summer, families have a chance to learn about healthy eating from a summer snack series. The program is through Christus Children's Hospital. Producer Haley Powers got a look inside the kitchen at Christus and explains why healthy eating is so important, especially for sick kids.
The chop of the knife, the swirl of a spoon, and the tap of a finished dish. That means families and their kids inside Christus Children's Hospital are about to taste the recipe of the week.
So this is our food for today. It's a little snack. It's a dill pickle dip.
This dip was made as part of Christus Children's Summer Snack Series. Every week, Chef, a culinary medicine program inside the hospital, puts together easy and tasty recipes for patients and their families. After tasting the dish, families get the opportunity to make it at home.
And we have a bag of all the ingredients so they can make it at home with the recipe. And then we found some of our families don't have the cooking supplies, so we have all the cooking supplies for them to make it at home if they need that.
Giving parents the ingredients and supplies to make the dish means they get to learn about new and healthy ways to feed their kids, especially if they're sick.
The importance of culinary medicine is really how much diet does affect your medical health.
On top of diet, the culinary experts with the Summer Snack Series also explain the importance of nutrition, menu planning, and trying new foods.
It's a fun class. All the kids like it, all the families like it, but just that they're trying new foods that they wouldn't have necessarily tried at home.
Haley Powers, KSAT 12 News.
What an awesome program. Now, a look outside with live cam. Blue sky, Sarah, you were out there at the zoo this morning. How was it?
We had a lot of fun. We did a science experiment, magic milk fireworks, in honor of the holiday tomorrow. Check it out if you can. It's on KSAT.com right now. Let's check out the aquifer. The aquifer is down 0.5 of a foot, half a foot in the past 24 hours. We need some rain. Moles are actually up at 8:20. They're moderate. Now let's go ahead and take a look at your headlines. We are going to be talking about the heat, 100 degrees through Friday, but there is a glimmer of hope for rain starting on Saturday because of a combination of a front and what's happening in the tropics. Speaking of the tropics, Beryl, Mexico or Texas, where will it make landfall? Still kind of up in the air, but there are things that I want to talk about, especially for Sunday and Monday of next week. I'll be back with more news after.
Welcome back. You know who's having a lot of fun always? SA Live.
Yep.
Let's check in with them.
So much fun, Jen and Fiona. What's
Hi,
going on?
ladies. We're going to talk about tacos. There we go. I'm trying to get it out. Yes, I was trying there. Yes, what is your ultimate taco? That is our question of the day. Do you have one?
Okay. This is a good one.
Okay,
What you guys go first?
I have to do brisket. Yes, brisket
Okay.
with eggs and avocado.
Bam. Like burnt end.
Yep.
Oh.
Wonderful, delicious.
I
Yes.
have to go with the street taco. I love bistec.
Yes.
I mean, that's just a classic for me.
I'm kind of gonna go al pastor.
Ooh,
So good with the
and it is lunchtime.
The little bit of like pineapple on there, absolutely, absolutely delicious.
The pineapple, I like that. I like the lime on those too. Y'all are making me hungry.
Cilantro, onions, we can go on and on.
Keep going, right?
Yeah, well, and and that's working up our appetite, and we better be ready because we are going to show you a cute little
twist on a charcuterie, right? We'll just give you that.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll just leave it with that. But yes, we want to know the viewers' favorite taco. We got the QR code there on the screen. I can't wait to see that. It's just going to make me more hungry, though. I'm already starving. It smells like barbecue in here.
No place you'd rather be than SA Live around
This is what we do.
Lunchtime. It's true. We're so excited. We'll check in with you guys a little bit later. Thanks so much.
Thanks, ladies.
And now I need a street taco later today. I mean, I could always go for a street taco, but a nice drink too with it, right? Refreshing drink.
That's true. And our deal is, if you go and get street tacos, you got to get me one.
Okay. I love that deal.
All right, let's go ahead. We've got a lot to talk about in the weather, starting with Category 4 Hurricane Beryl. As you can see, Hurricane Beryl is making its way close to Jamaica right now. It's moving west-northwest at about 20 miles per hour. It's got sustained winds of 145 miles per hour, which makes it a Category 4 hurricane. Now, I will say this storm has shown signs of weakening within the last several hours. You can notice that there's not that characteristic eye that we were seeing yesterday when it was a Category 5 hurricane. So it is still a very destructive storm. Areas like Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, under the gun for hurricane warnings right now, currently experiencing hurricane conditions in the island of Jamaica. So this is a very destructive storm. It is going to weaken slightly as it moves through the Cayman Islands toward the Yucatan Peninsula. It'll be near the Yucatan Peninsula as a Category 2 hurricane late tomorrow night, early Friday, moving across the Yucatan. Now, Friday is the day that we are going to have a lot more information about how Beryl will potentially impact the Texas coast. Why? Because it's all about the interaction with the land over the Yucatan. If it moves a little bit further north toward Cancun, it's going to stay fairly strong because that's very marshy land, and so really won't disrupt the storm too much. If it moves further south, that's a lot more land for it to go over, and it could, in theory, weaken quite a bit more. The ideal situation would be for it to weaken quite a bit as it enters into the Gulf of Mexico. The National Hurricane Center does think that it will weaken somewhat into a tropical storm with sustained winds of 65 miles per hour. And then at some point on Saturday and Sunday, Beryl is likely going to take a turn to the north. Now, it could make landfall anywhere from the eastern part of Mexico here all the way up through the Texas coast. It is expected to re-strengthen into a hurricane before it potentially makes landfall. Right now is a Category 1 with sustained winds of 75 miles per hour. And then by Sunday and Monday, that's when Texas, parts of Texas will likely be dealing with some kind of impacts from Beryl. But where Beryl makes landfall will greatly depend on those impacts exactly. So if I could stress something for you, it would be Friday. We will have more information on exactly what Hurricane Beryl will do, because Friday it's going to move over the Yucatan as a Category 2 hurricane. By Saturday, we'll have that tropical storm in the Gulf of Mexico, and Saturday, Sunday, and Monday we'll be monitoring the strength and the path. Does it head to Mexico? Does it turn north toward Texas? We will keep you posted. Otherwise, the other thing you need to consider is that we're also going to be seeing a front draped across Texas by Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now, not only will that potentially help to steer Beryl, but it's also going to be allowing for us to see more lift for rain. So we've actually been able to raise the rain chances Saturday and Sunday, regardless of what happens with Beryl because of that front. But if Beryl happens to move through the Rio Grande Valley, that combined with the front, that would mean really good rainfall for parts of San Antonio. So that's something also that we're keeping an eye on. And as far as rain chances go, here's what we got so far. Saturday, Sunday, 30%. Monday and Tuesday, 40%, so slightly better rain chances on Monday and Tuesday. Outside right now, it's 92 in San Antonio, feels like 100. We've got a breeze from the south at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. For the rest of the afternoon, we're likely going to see our 11th 100-degree day today, right around 100 degrees for the high. And for your fireworks forecast on the 4th of July, it'll be breezy in the evening with gusts up to 20-25 miles per hour. Mostly clear as temperatures fall from the 90s into the 80s. So it's definitely going to be warm, but not too bad. And be careful with the winds with any fireworks. As we head into the weekend, again, all eyes on Beryl. We will be keeping you posted. Right now, Tiffany, it is way too soon to be talking about rainfall amounts. And the reason why I say it's way too soon to be talking about rainfall amounts is because how much rain we get in San Antonio depends on where Beryl makes landfall.
It's incredible to see that historic strength that it already has.
Yeah, it's already been in Category 5. It's not going to be a major hurricane by the time it makes it to northern Mexico or to Texas.
But it's always a good thing to prepare for hurricane season any time of the year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah, for all of that. Now, one of the newest members of the Spurs roster is already impressing on the court during practice, but the team isn't surprised. They've had their eye on the player for a while. The San Antonio Spurs front office said they'd kept close tabs on 6'6" guard Stephon Castle since he was in high school, so it had to feel very rewarding for both sides when Castle put ink to paper on his rookie deal yesterday. The coveted fourth pick is already impressing his summer league coach and teammates during the Spurs summer league practices.
You know, he's a stoic person. He's even-keeled. Any mistake he makes, he doesn't really show it too much. Any good play he makes, he doesn't show it too much. He's even keeled, which is a good thing.
He's aggressive, so and that's what we need. Like we got a couple of aggressive guys in our team with the Spurs now. So we got Jeremy, we got me, we got KJ. Like so, we got warriors in the team.
Summer League action begins in Sacramento on Saturday. And Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are set to team up on the WNBA All-Star team when they face the U.S. Olympic team in Phoenix July 20th. Clark and Reese were selected last night by votes from the media, fans, players, and coaches. And this year, lots of fans cast votes. In fact, 500,000 more votes were cast. That's the Clark effect. Four-star dual-threat quarterback Ty Hawkins announced he is transferring out of Johnson High School to go to IMG Academy in Florida for his senior season. The TCU commit accumulated about 4,300 passing yards, 54 touchdowns, and just 12 interceptions in his career at Johnson. Hawkins said in a statement, "It's bittersweet to leave, but it will be a great opportunity." Countless alumni from IMG Academy went on to play in the pros. And in 2014, Jim Streety ended his high school coaching career as one of the most valuable football coaches in Texas history. He racked up 537 wins at Madison and New Braunfels, respectively, across 4 decades. From there, Streety's legacy in public education only grew stronger when he went on to serve as the New Braunfels ISD athletic director for the next 9 years. Now, last fall, Streety announced his plan to retire at the end of the school year, and his official last day was on Sunday.
The favorite thing is all of the great relationships that I was able to form and enjoy and continue to enjoy over that time. I would put that ahead of any moment, any victory, anything like that. Is just the great relationships that came my way from all of those years.
The Smiley, Texas native was inducted into the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame in 2018, then the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame the following year. Streety will certainly be missed in the local sports scene.
They haven't offered me a key to that golf cart yet, and it looks like they're probably not going to. But again, that's how you show kids and coaches that you're interested in what they're doing.
Good takeaway there. Streety's way to connect with players and coaches. Get out there on a golf cart. Now we're tracking Hurricane Beryl. We've got the latest on its potential path and what coastal communities could see an impact. Right now, Jamaica is in the path of Hurricane Beryl as the powerful Category 4 storm pushes through the Caribbean, but you can see it already left behind a path of destruction. This is video from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The storm is already blamed for at least 6 deaths. ABC's Lionel Moisey reports airports have been closed and a disaster has been declared ahead of this deadly storm making landfall.
The island of Jamaica bracing for Hurricane Beryl, which could bring life-threatening flash floods and up to 9 feet of storm surge.
The entire government and all relevant personnel are in a state of readiness to manage the disaster.
Jamaica's prime minister declaring the entire island a disaster area. ABC's Faith Abube is there.
Already we're seeing conditions deteriorate. The winds are picking up. You can see here the waves are getting choppier and choppier.
Beryl is weakening, but it was the earliest ever Category 5 storm on record in the Atlantic. The deadly storm leaving behind devastation on several islands. And these images of Beryl reaching Grenada. Satellite images of before and after showing entire neighborhoods decimated. Homes also destroyed in St. Vincent.
Yep, I'm homeless.
Forecasters are warning Jamaica could be hit with wind gusts near 130 miles per hour and up to a foot of rain. Locals trying to stock up on last-minute supplies ahead of the storm.
A hurricane warning is in effect for Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. Beryl is expected to make landfall in Jamaica as a major hurricane. That would make it the first major hurricane on record to make landfall there during the month of July. Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
Now, meanwhile, experts predict Beryl could increase the cost of U.S. gas by 5 to 10 cents a gallon over the next week. That's because it might disrupt Gulf Coast oil refineries. Now, the governor of Texas recently said they are ready to support the coastal communities. And Sarah has been keeping an eye on all of this. It's very developing. Every moment counts.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing to stress, Tiff, is even though we know Beryl is out there, we're really not going to know how and if it's going to impact Texas until a little bit later this week. It's really got to move over the Yucatan Peninsula first so that we could see if it weakens and if it turns to the north toward Texas. So unfortunately, with these situations, it is a wait and see situation, and we are going to plan to keep you prepared no matter what. Here's where Category 4 Hurricane Beryl is right now. Sustained winds of 145 miles per hour, really moving over the island of Jamaica pretty much as we speak, which is under a hurricane warning. Cayman Islands and parts of eastern Yucatan Peninsula are under a hurricane warning as well. Hurricane Beryl is expected to be near the Cayman Islands by early tomorrow morning, and then by tomorrow night and Friday, it'll be moving across the Yucatan. This is going to be the critical time to determine exactly what we're going to be dealing with here in Texas, or to at least get a better idea, because as Beryl moves over land, it will either weaken significantly or just weaken slightly. The ideal situation would be for it to weaken significantly, because that would mean that we would have a slightly better chance for higher rainfall here in San Antonio. As we take a look at Hurricane Beryl by Saturday morning, it's going to be in the Gulf of Mexico as a weaker tropical storm, but still a tropical storm nonetheless. And then it will strengthen into a hurricane again over the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico. Not into a major hurricane, but into a Category 1 hurricane. Still something to pay very close attention to. Then on Sunday, the big question is, does it turn to the north, and how much does it turn to the north? If it makes a significant turn to the north, it'll impact the Texas coast. That is something to keep our eyes on. Sunday night, Monday is when we would potentially be seeing impacts along the Texas coast. And regardless of where Beryl makes landfall, I have to stress this too. If you have weekend plans along the Texas coast, no matter where Beryl goes, it's going to have an influence on the Texas coast. These are some of the influences: rain, Yes, especially Saturday night and Sunday, there will be areas of rain all along the Texas coast. There will be a high surf, there will be rip currents, and there will be, in some cases, coastal flooding. Remember how Alberto was all the way in Mexico, but it still created coastal flooding in Galveston? That's kind of what we're going to be dealing with this week. So regardless of where Beryl goes, makes a direct impact, these are still going to be issues, and a lot of people traveling for the 4th of July holiday this weekend toward the coast. So please be aware of that if you have plans to travel to the coast. Coming up, we're going to be talking about our 4th of July forecast here. And of course, I'll have another look at Hurricane Beryl. Tiffany.
Thank you, Sarah. The U.S. Department of Justice will seek to prosecute former President Donald Trump even if he wins the election. That's according to a report from the Washington Post. DOJ officials said it's because a longstanding policy against criminally charging a sitting president does not apply to a president-elect. That means even if Trump were to win the election in November, he could still stand trial before Inauguration Day in January. This comes after the Supreme Court ruled on Monday that Trump could claim immunity on some of his federal election interference charges. The court's decision is likely to further delay a trial on the matter and help Trump avoid a trial before the election. President Biden is awarding 2 Civil War soldiers the Medal of Honor. A White House official says Private Philip Shadrack and Private George Wilson participated in what is now called the Andrews Raid or the Great Locomotive Chase. It happened on April 12, 1862, when a group of Union soldiers behind Confederate lines attempted to hijack a train and destroy enemy infrastructure. Wilson was born in Ohio in 1830. Shadrack was from Pennsylvania. A White House official confirmed both families will be represented during the ceremony. Latinos in the U.S. are contracting HIV faster than any other group. They account for less than 20% of the population, but nearly a third of new HIV diagnoses. That's according to the latest data released by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. It's from 2022. Black people still have the highest share of HIV diagnosis, but new cases are falling. They are rising among Hispanics. Experts say that's likely due to a lack of access to insurance, mental health and substance abuse services, and socioeconomic instability. Awareness of pre-exposure prophylaxis, or PrEP, is also low among Hispanic people. PrEP consists of a pill at-risk people can take each day that dramatically reduces their chances of contracting the disease. Most of the car dealerships impacted by a nearly 2-week-long software blackout are back online. The blackout that knocked almost 15,000 dealerships offline occurred after 2 cyber incidents that targeted software company CDK Global. The hack brought orders, sales, and tracking to a standstill at dealerships that rely on CDK. But after many announcements and false starts, the company says operations are phasing back in ahead of schedule. Analysts say dealerships could have lost millions of dollars more if the blackout had gone a full 3 weeks. Welcome back. A look outside with live cam. This is simply a perfect picture, but we are keeping eyes on Hurricane Beryl that could bring that rainfall that we need, Sarah.
Yeah, it's a perfect picture, but it's hot out there. It's 93 degrees, feels like 100. We desperately need rain, as Tiffany mentioned. The aquifer's down another half a foot in the past 24 hours. Molds have somehow climbed. They're now moderate at 820. But of course, all eyes are on Hurricane Beryl. We'll be talking about how we'll be near 100 through Friday, but there is a glimmer of hope for rain, especially starting by Saturday through the weekend. And that's because of the combination of a cool front moving across Texas and the potential for Hurricane Beryl. Now, the big question is, will Hurricane Beryl make landfall in northern Mexico or in Texas Sunday through Monday? Those details coming up.
Welcome back. Sarah, we've been keeping an eye on Hurricane Beryl, but that rain is so powerful right now, but we need it here in some areas.
We do, and our rainfall is really going to depend very much on where Hurricane Beryl makes landfall Sunday, Monday, whether it's in northern Mexico or in Texas, and that is still yet to be determined. But we did just get an update from the National Hurricane Center just a couple minutes ago. So as you guys see this, I'm seeing it too. Now we have Category 4 Hurricane Beryl, still a Category 4 hurricane as of the latest update, but Earlier, the wind speeds were 145 miles per hour. They're now at 140. So even though it's a completely destructive Category 4 hurricane working its way through Jamaica, it is showing some signs of weakening. And it is expected to weaken as it moves into the Caribbean. But here's the important thing to know is that the Cayman Islands are under a hurricane warning, expecting major impacts from Hurricane Beryl. It will be a Category 3 hurricane by early tomorrow morning, working its way toward the Yucatan Peninsula as a Category 2 hurricane, making landfall along the Yucatan Peninsula from Thursday night into Friday. And then during the day on Friday, Hurricane Beryl will be moving over the Yucatan Peninsula. Now, where Hurricane Beryl makes landfall along the Yucatan and its interaction with the land depends on how much, will determine rather how much it weakens. And we want the storm to weaken significantly over land so that by the time it enters into the Gulf of Mexico, it will be a tropical storm rather than a hurricane. It will enter into the Gulf of Mexico Friday night and Saturday. Then we'll be watching Beryl very closely to see how much it's influenced by the steering flow and how much it turns to the north. It is expected to turn to the north, but how much it turns to the north is still a big question. Expected to strengthen into a Category 1 hurricane over the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico, and then potentially making landfall anywhere along the northern Mexican coast, all the way up through the South Texas coast, and even potentially up north of Corpus Christi. That is a large amount of uncertainty as to where it will be making landfall. But regardless, it's not going to be a good weekend along the Texas coast because of high surf, rip currents, even the possibility of rain. So regardless of where Beryl makes landfall, not a great weekend to be over on the Texas coast. And if we have impacts from Hurricane Beryl here in San Antonio, they would be mainly on Monday of the upcoming week. So here's what we'll be watching. Again, Friday, its interaction with the Yucatan Peninsula as a Category 2. By Saturday, it'll enter the Gulf of Mexico as a tropical storm. And then the big question Saturday and Sunday and Monday is how much it strengthens and its path. Will it be making landfall in Mexico or Texas? These are questions that we'll have more answers to as time goes on. And again, it is way too early to be talking about rainfall amounts because rainfall amounts will vary greatly depending on where Beryl makes landfall. What we can tell you is that rain chances are increasing. Rain chances increasing because of this front that's going to be moving through Texas at the same time that Beryl tries to move across the Gulf of Mexico. So Saturday, Sunday, there will be some rain from this front, but how much rain depends on where Beryl will be making landfall. And the highest potential for rain comes on Monday and Tuesday of next week when we'll be at 40%. So 30% Saturday, 30% Sunday, 40% on Monday and Tuesday, and we'll be able to raise or lower these depending on what happens with Beryl in the Gulf of Mexico. It is a hot day. It's 92, but feels already like 99. Yesterday was our 10th 100-degree day. We're probably going to have our 11th 100-degree day of the year today with a high temperature of 100, southeast winds at 10 to 15. Of course, tomorrow's the 4th of July. A lot of people have some plans for fireworks. I mean, it'll be a hot day during the day, but for fireworks, it'll be warm and breezy with temperatures falling from the 90s into the 80s by midnight. Gusty winds of up to 25 miles an hour. And then looking at that forecast, ending the week near 100, and then over the weekend, we'll be watching the Gulf closely and keeping you posted. So we'll have all the information on air here on KSAT and of course online. We'll be back.
And welcome back. Tomorrow is July 4th, but SA Live is already celebrating.
Well, of course, everyone's going to be firing up the grills this weekend. And if you want a smoke show, that's right, you're going to want Ron Powders, an executive pitmaster from Goshen Barbecue, to help you, right?
That's right.
If you show up with this, we're calling it a barcouterie.
Barcouterie.
Forget the charcuterie.
Forget the charcuterie. We got the barcouterie.
Which is all
just meats. A platter of beautiful meat. Take a look. Doesn't that gorgeous?
It's beautiful. You don't even need to say anything. Just show up with that, right?
That's it.
All right, you want something to wash it down? We have some patriotic punches to spark up your 4th of July holiday, and Lillian Oler with Assembled Cocktail is here. How do you incorporate the sweetness that gives a little bit of a kick?
Yeah, so you can just buy regular lemonade and then you can spice it up with a little hot honey here. I recommend pre-mixing it into the concoction that you're making and serving so that the honey doesn't stick to the inside of the glassware. But other than that, your guests will love it and they'll be talking about it forever.
Yes, it's amazing, by the way. And we're going to tell you what the dirty soda is. It's a TikTok trend. We'll tell you all about that. Take a look at this. Frida Fest is happening this weekend. All handmade vendors. Isn't that beautiful? We're going to tell you everything you need to know. And kids get in for free.
Yes,
oh, and there's
even a Frida lookalike contest that the littles can compete in. Oh my
I
God!
can't wait
stop.
to see the photos for that.
All right, and if you want to, release your inner terpsichorean,
yes, there's a free salsa and bachata class happening at this local studio. We're gonna take you there and tell you all about it. Fiona, you're gonna show some moves too.
watch out. All right, and we want to know, what is your ultimate taco? Scan that QR code and let us know. All that and more when SA Live continues here from Historic Market Square.